celebrate the fact that we have a Hall of Fame where we're able to have a showcase for these giants in my mind.
Journalism was in their blood, and perhaps not from the day they were born, but probably early on in life, they felt this need to want to tell the story.
I think there's something about good journalists, regardless of media, that are competitive, not throat cutters, but who have an inner desire for the best.
We absolutely understand that you must preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, and embedded in that Constitution is the right of the press to have its freedom to do its work.
The Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame was the brainchild of Dr. Ray Tassin, chairman of the journalism department at Central State University in Edmond. Denny Hall joined the department faculty in 1969.
Ray Tassin was a competitive individual, and I think he knew that the University of Oklahoma was thinking about a Hall of Fame as well. So it almost became a land run for the first Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame. And I think that's when, I think it came to be when Denny Hall came on the scene.
He was chairman of the department, and he needed some help with the Hall of Fame. And so he, little by little, turned it over to me.
I think when Denny Hall came on the scene, and Ray Tassin, Dr. Tassin as I still call him, they came together, suddenly they had the foundation to form the Hall of Fame.
Here we had the Journalism Hall of Fame. Just think of all the press in Oklahoma. And I thought, well, if we really want press coverage for UCO, the classic way to start is to upgrade the enthusiasm, the image, the awareness of that the fact that the Journalism Hall of Fame in the entire state of Oklahoma is on our campus.
George Nye's contribution to the Journalism Hall of Fame is huge. He was the one who saw how important this was statewide. For a long time, the Journalism Hall of Fame had been sort of in this dusty little room all by itself. And he said, we're making this a luncheon. And that's where that started. And at first there seemed to be a little bit of, well, they may not be able to afford it. Let me tell you, you turn that into a luncheon and it made and George would be a speaker and promote it. And that's when it really took off.
I was in the journalism building and was not sure where Dr. Clark's office was, so I had a little time before our meeting and was walking down a dark hall, really, and I see on the wall a number of plaques with images of people, and so as I looked closer, I saw the names of the members of the Hall of Fame. Will Rogers and Douglas Edwards, and I mean, unbelievable treasure trove of, in my mind, celebrities whom had made our state come alive through the years. It's so obvious that it was not in a good location.
When Dr. Terry Clark took over the Hall of Fame, he started to seek support from the university. That he knew for the Hall of Fame to continue, that it needed the support of the university. So he found this place where you see all the certificates, all the bios framed. You see all of what we see today because Dr. Clark went to Roger Webb and said, we need your support. And Dr. Webb agreed to that. So it's here today because not only of Ray Tassin and Denny Hall, but of Terry Clark and the support of university presidents such as Roger Webb and Don Betts.
In 2019, both former UCO presidents, Dr. Don Betts and Roger Webb, were inducted into the Journalism Hall of Fame with Lifetime Achievement Awards. Both are champions of journalism, free speech, and a free press.
I think there's always going to be room for the cultivation of great journalists. Maybe places like UCO and the other institutions that encourage journalism can instill the ethics and the vision of the role of journalism in American society in sufficient quantity and motivation that moves that young woman or man to the next step where she's going to be that journalist that reveals and underscores and amplifies what we need to know.
That Hall of Fame is, among other things, it's there, I believe, to inspire oncoming journalists, to inspire people to come into the profession.
By gosh, if this democracy is to survive, we better have 50 years more of the Oklahoma Journalism Hall of Fame. We better have more journalists out there to give voice to the voiceless, to be the watchdogs of government, to represent what the First Amendment of freedom of information mean to every individual in this society. Not just to journalists, but to every individual in this society. Without a journalist to tell that story, to take those risks, to investigate, to seek the data, to seek truly the human voice behind that data, then our democracy dies.
Now and into the future, it's up to us to keep the legacy alive and the Hall celebrated for the next 50 years.